Martha, I wanted to ask you about news, local news, and it's been massive. It's kind of been a mixed relationship with marketers. There's some that embrace, some don't. There's some issues about to being associated with news. By the same token, it's been hugely influential, lots of eyeballs. How does news come out of the pandemic, the election? Any thoughts about news as an investment for you guys?
Yeah, so outside of an election year, which is always going to require tailored recommendations to our clients on how to best navigate the political ad landscape, local news is actually a huge selling point for our clients because it really allows brands to connect at the local level, to integrate with local communities and align with that local news content. So typically it actually is, something that we feel like most of our clients do embrace when they're looking to activate locally. Of course, throughout COVID, we've seen huge increases in local news viewing. And I think that that just demonstrates that it's a really trusted source of information, specifically about the pandemic. And I think, that makes sense. Like as states have different guidelines and different levels of COVID outbreak, it makes sense that viewers would tune into the local news versus maybe the national news. So, I think also we've seen that younger viewers are actually driving that growth of news consumption as well. And I think local news viewers are growing increasingly diverse. Like we've seen significant gains with Hispanic, Black, and Asian viewers over the past few years. Again, political aside, typically if news is a vital mix to a client's day part, we typically advise that they look for news sponsorships because that's going to really allow them to have a non-preemptible presence in that day part. And of course, then not be stuck between some, contentious political advertisements, which we're continuing to see in Georgia as we have this runoff through January.
So I wanted to ask about incorporating data and advanced audiences into TV buying. It's something that we hear a lot about on the national level, and we're hearing more on the local level. Tell us about ways in which your team has found success when it comes to incorporating advanced audiences into local.
So yeah, from a planning perspective, Kara takes an audience-based approach. So we have a people-based insights platform called M1, which we leverage to really understand audiences across all video platforms. We try not to silo the channels and we really see audiences in a fluid fashion. And we want to, target audiences when and where they're consuming media. So, we really like to say that we're buying audiences and not channels. Obviously, we've seen a shift from linear to more audience-based, data-driven buying like addressable and OTT. But even our linear buys are using data directionally for, more precise channel and programming level selections at the individual market level. So, we use local ComScore, which can be fused with either Simmons or Experian data. And that really allows us to look beyond age and gender and allows us to go in and really incorporate those behavioral and qualitative factors into our programming decisions. Some of our automotive clients are using first-party data to build custom segments in M1, and that allows for advanced targeting, and then they can push that to more addressable platforms. Scale is something that we've, it's a challenge in the local space, but I'm confident that the landscape will continue to evolve when it comes to data and audiences. And my hope is that measurement can keep up because that's been a little bit of a struggle. But I would say, yes, data is definitely something that, will continue to be of huge importance when we're, trying to target audiences for our clients.
So, Martha, looking into the future, in terms of what your hopes around measurement, in terms of the granularity of measurement, in terms of some kind of a current common currency, where do you hope the measurement companies go in the year ahead?
I think that's a great question. In looking at cross-platform measurement, not all impressions are created equal. I think the measurement standards between linear and digital viewing are vastly different. So, we need to determine what constitutes a platform agnostic impression when it comes to content viewership across all platforms. Um, my hope is that the measurement providers could, that they could use ACR, for instance, automated content recognition, and somehow maybe, incorporate that into their panels so that we could then have a more valuable and accurate way to measure viewership. ACR is able to read pixels on a smart TV device like Roku or Apple TV. And it really allows for, insight into real-time data. This is previously not something that we've had, a view into on traditional TV platforms. And I think, that would be my hope, because, we need second by second measurement data for linear TV.
Cool. And finally, you've been in the local media world. I wanted some, if you could share some thoughts about how this year, this transformative year, has changed sort of the importance of local media, maybe how technology has changed it in the eyes of national advertisers, kind of the role that local media plays, as if it's changed, and kind of where it's going.
I think that it is more important. I think that the pandemic has, I alluded to this earlier, but I think that has really helped local thrive. We've put together a lot of different strategy ideas for clients around local and why it makes sense right now. As states are opening back up or shutting back down and everything is sort of dependent on state guidelines, it makes sense to align locally rather than, having a national message. You've seen that the creative really needs to be customized and geared towards what's going on right now in the world. And I think along with that, it's important to, have those local messages, again, because things are varying so much state to state. So I would say, in terms of the importance, I think it is important. And I think it's helped us and allowed us to have more of a tactical local strategy across our clients. And, we'll see what happens. I think it's been an unusual year for sure. And, there will be good things coming from this. That's absolutely my thought on that.